Thanks, Jane. Well, it's been a real mix of weather types out there today. We have had a bit of sunshine, also some fairly heavy showers and some outbreaks of more persistent rain as well. This is the scene in Pembrokeshire taken by one of our weather watchers earlier on in the day. Now, as we head through this evening, we've got this band of cloud and outbreaks of rain pushing towards the south and the east, clearing East Anglia later this evening. We'll see more rain, though, coming in across the east of Scotland and northeast England, with low pressure developing there in the North Sea. Quite a chilly night elsewhere, though. We're going to be seeing some of those temperatures well down into single figures. So a fresh start to your Friday morning. Through the day, most places having a bit of a better day than it was today. Still a bit of rain in the northeast, but that should ease later on. A few showers lingering for the Northern Isles, but elsewhere, sunny spells through the day, and particularly across the northern half of the country, it will be a touch warmer than it was today. Temperatures here around 16 or 17 degrees. We could see highs of 19 or 20 further south, and it's looking rather unsettled, particularly on Saturday. A little bit brighter for most by Sunday.
Russia hits back at the Salisbury poisoning investigation, telling the United Nations that the allegations are unfounded and mendacious. Britain's ambassador to the UN says 2 Russian military intelligence officers carried out the nerve agent attack, but Russia says it has all been invented.
They tried to murder the Skripals. They played dice with the lives of the people of Salisbury. They work in a parallel universe where the normal rules of international affairs are inverted.
London needs this story for just one purpose: to unleash a disgusting anti-Russian hysteria and to involve other countries in this hysteria.
Today, the US, France, Germany and Canada said they have full confidence in Britain's assessment that Russia was behind the attack. Also tonight, an inquest finds that neglect by a leading children's hospital led to the death of this toddler who was left waiting days for emergency surgery.
His nurse rang down and said, "You need to do something, this baby's too poorly for me to look after with the other babies I've got." And they still didn't do anything.
Plans to cap some energy bills. 11 million people could save around £75 a year. Some of Donald Trump's closest advisors deny writing an anonymous article attacking the president. And celebrations in India as the Supreme Court scraps a law from colonial times which banned gay sex. Good evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. Russia has told the United Nations that it categorically rejects allegations that it was involved in the nerve agent attack in Salisbury. Russia's ambassador to the UN hit back at the claims and said Russia had never produced Novichok and the UK had no evidence that Russia was involved. Yesterday, Theresa May revealed that 2 Russians from the military intelligence service were thought to have carried out the attack. They're accused of the attempted murder of the former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia, who were poisoned with the nerve agent Novichok in March this year. Moscow has denied any knowledge of the men. But today, the UK, the US, France, Germany and Canada released a joint statement saying they believe with almost certainty that the attack was approved at senior Russian state level. Our diplomatic correspondent James Landell has the story. The time is just after 6:15, our top story this evening. The Novichok suspect. Russia hits back at the Salisbury poisoning investigation, telling the United Nations the allegations are unfounded and mendacious. Coming up, the Indian ship and crew stranded in Norfolk for more than a year after the vessel's owners went bust. It was a colonial-era law. For 157 years, gay sex was categorised as an unnatural offence in India until today. Now, in a hugely historic decision, the country's Supreme Court has ruled that being gay is no longer a criminal offence. Although many in India's largest cities have long been in favour of scrapping the law, there remains strong opposition to it amongst religious groups and in rural communities. Our correspondent Divya Aira reports.
And actually, Scotland and Northern Ireland having not a bad day. By the time we get to Sunday, most of those showers should start to ease away. Won't be dry across the board, but I think a better day than Saturday. A little bit more in the way of sunshine, and temperatures could reach around about 22 degrees, so a touch warmer by the time we get to Sunday. Sophie.
Sarah, thank you. And that's all from the BBC News at 6. I'll be back with the latest at 10, but now the BBC's news team's where you are. Bye-bye.
Follow the story, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. You can follow every moment in depth with BBC News. Get the full story at bbc.co.uk/news. Get the headlines as they happen with the breaking news alert. And keep up with events by watching the BBC News channel in the app. Follow the story wherever you are with BBC News.
These women are about to find out the hard way about 3 decades of life on the factory floor.
You all look shell-shocked.
And how an unsung generation fought to change life for women today.
It's because he's a man who's on more money.
Back in time for the factory.
Stefan, I'm going on strike.
Starts tonight at 8 on BBC Two.
Hello, this is BBC News. I'm Martine Croxall. Our headlines. The UK has confronted Russia at the United Nations over the Salisbury poisonings. The United States, France, Germany and Canada have expressed full confidence in Britain's assessment that the attack was carried out by 2 serving Russian military intelligence officers. The Kremlin continues to deny any involvement.
We have clear evidence of Russian state involvement in what happened in Salisbury and the use of CW.
London needs this story for just one purpose: to unleash a disgusting anti-Russian hysteria and to involve other countries in this hysteria.
An inquest has found gross failures at Royal Manchester Children's Hospital contributed to the death of a toddler. Members of the Northern Ireland Assembly are to have their pay reduced as the political deadlock at Stormont continues. Campaigners welcome the ruling from India's Supreme Court that gay sex is no longer a criminal offence. President Trump demands the New York Times names the White House official behind an article harshly criticising his leadership from within. A new price cap on energy bills. The industry regulator says 11 million people will save an average of £75 a year. In a moment, it'll be time for Sports Day, but first, a look at what else is coming up this evening on BBC News. As Britain increases pressure on Russia over the Novichok poisoning in Salisbury, 6 months on, has the West managed to curb Moscow's activities? We'll speak to a Russia expert in Washington. Following India's Supreme Court's decision to decriminalise gay sex, we'll be talking to celebrity chef and campaigner Ritu Dalmia about what's driving the change in the culture. And at 10:40 and 11:30, we'll look at tomorrow's front pages with former Director of Communications for the Conservative Party, Giles Kenningham, and Polly Mackenzie, Director of the centre-left think tank Demos. That's all ahead on BBC News. Now it's time for Sports Day.
Hello there, welcome to Sports Day with me, Will Perry. The headlines for you this evening. The start of a new era. The UEFA Nations League is officially underway.